coin you want to trade. Clue is the time frame. Let's select the time frame. All these are on the previous YouTube videos, so I will not dwell on them too much. So if you click here, you can select any coin you want to trade. And this is the coin I'm trading on. So you can select, if you look at the right hand side, you see exchanges. So you select the exchange you're trading on. So I'm just using OKEX because I mainly trade there. Okay, so watch now. On the 4-hour time frame, you can understand now. Now, if you look at this stochastic RSI page, what you just need to understand there is that once the market gets to, once this whole lines there, all these lines you see moving, this line moving, once it gets to the top, where it is here now, this top, you understand that the market is overbought, waiting for a reversal downward. It's overbought, waiting for a reversal downward, meaning it's supposed to come down. Once the bottom gets to this place also, once it gets to this bottom, you're supposed to work with the numbers, but you can just work with the way the movement is. But sometimes it doesn't get to that number place I will call. But basically, you can work with just the movements. As you get to this bottom I outlined here now, you understand that the market is about to reverse to the top. It has gotten oversold. It has gone down much. So it's expecting a reversal upwards. So you can long the market from that point. Now, you should just understand two things between this. It's not that when you just come, you see there, you just enter immediately. Now, there are factors you need to take note of, which are your support, your resistance. And then you should understand price movements. Well, let me just explain that. So this is actually Aptos USD. So let's say we've been watching Aptos USD for some time now, and basically it's moving with say 4.5. Okay, let's say 5.800 to 5.000. So you understand that once it gets to 5.000, it normally reverses back to 5.800. So that alone should even help you trade the market comfortably well, studying of a coin. But I'm just trying to explain this for those who have not understood the whole trading view. Is mostly many people will not be able to understand it, but you don't even need to trade profitably well. So it's gotten to this point. You should understand that it's about to reverse to the top. So you're just going to wait for it to get to the next support. Support is the lowest point it has gotten to. Like you can see here, this lowest point it has gotten to is something around 4.9 or 4.8 something. So that's the support. And we see here 5.5248. So this is the closest support currently. So you can wait for it to get to that point for a long position. Now, for a short position, when it gets to this top place here, you wait for the nearest resistance. Resistance is the highest point it has gotten to. For a shorting position, I'm trying to just wrap it up fast so that we can learn something today. For shorting position, so once it gets to the top here at this place I named as the overbought position, you understand that it's a short. So you look for the nearest resistance to place your order for a short. Once it gets to this point, you understand that it's preparing for a long. Look for the nearest support to place your long. Now, there are factors you should consider also. That Bitcoin controls the market. So you should check what Bitcoin is doing at the moment. Is Bitcoin on a downward trend or upward trend? So you should also trade alongside Bitcoin. Because if you trade against Bitcoin, you will lose. Bitcoin controls the whole market. Whatever happens to Bitcoin is what happens to other coins. It affects the other coin. Bitcoin can be going down and a coin is showing that it wants to go up. As far as Bitcoin is going down, it will continue going down. You'll be like, this analysis didn't work. The analysis is right, but Bitcoin is going down. So you should understand that you also trade alongside Bitcoin's movements at time. So, okay, sorry about that. This Aptos says we are just looking at now. Is at the downward part, you're expecting a reversal upward. So I hope this whole stochastic RSI bit is clear to us now. I want to just move on to something else. I hope it's clear to us now. Should be clear in a bit. So most of us are already in the market. So I would like us to just understand few tips, or like call it advice, whatever. Because most of us are already trading already. So most of these steps, I believe we're already using them, all of the support resistance, the blah, blah, blah. So you should understand that the first thing you need to know is that you should create a trading plan and trade your trading plan. It's a very key point you need to understand. Create your trading plan and trade your trading plan. Now you should understand that you shouldn't be pressured by people's results. Someone shot a coin and maybe made 120%. You now rush. He rushed, shot that same coin. It could get your heart burnt. So you should understand that you should have your trading plan you're working with, and you should trade that plan. Don't trade anything else. Just trade based on what you understand. You don't need to understand all of these whole stuff I'm talking about, this what you need to understand, the main thing is support and resistance, because the market doesn't just, it moves in that wave. It moves in that wave. As it goes down, it's expected to come up. As it goes up, it's expected to go down. So you understand that you've watched the coin for a while, for like a day, 2 days, and so on and so forth. You understand the movement between that token. You understand that, okay, it gets to this point and it reverses down. It gets to this point and it reverses upward. If that is the coin you understand, trade on that coin. Don't jump to try to do other experimentals. Just trade on what you understand. Get a strategy. If your strategy is, okay, $10 per trade, $20 per trade, $30, whatever you place as your target, hit it every time and just stay off. Create a plan for yourself. It would help you very much. Don't just trade waywardly. Just trade anyhow. I say, your open market, enter anywhere long, anywhere short. No. You should have a plan you're sticking to, because even though you will regret it. Last week Thursday, there was a dip in BTC, and it really hurt me. The loss it gave me was heavy. It was because of I didn't stick to my plan. I have a plan normally. I say, okay, I want to hit this amount weekly, and I'm done. I hit it, and I was like, this thing will enter, or might just enter. And that was how my hand got burnt. So you should understand that if you don't stick to your plan, you will pay. You will pay for that mistake you made. So you should first get a trading plan and trade that plan. Don't be moved by any movement you see, any high you just see, just enter. You should understand your trading plan and work with it. Just understand it and work with it. It will help you very much. It will help you very much to understand and navigate the whole market. Now, I also laid down from some rules for us the last time the first time we started this training, and most of us are always abiding by that rule. Use low leverage and all of those things. Those things are part of the trading plan we're talking about. So you should get a particular setup you're using to understand the movement of the market. Now, we don't need to even trade every day. That's the funny thing that people don't understand. You don't need to trade every day. You don't need to look at the charts all the time. You should understand all of these things and put them together and build your masterpiece. Understand or build your masterpiece. All of these I'm saying, the stochastic RSI, the different tools I've been talking about now. You don't need to even master all of them. What you need to master is what is your own, what works for you best. What works for you best. You get that and use it. You could practice, you can decide to try all the tools. Okay, try this, and see, okay, this is what is working for me. Maybe if I use this, I always profit. If I do this, I always profit. Now you stick to that. The key is to being profitable, is not to trade all the time. The key is to being profitable. Now there could be losses here and there, little losses, but the goal there is that your profit should swallow up your losses. If in a whole month you traded 25 trades, your losses should not be more than 5, 6. Because if you traded 26 times, 25 times, and you lost just 5 to 6 trades, you're a very profitable trader. So you should understand that your profit should swallow up your losses. So try to stick to your strategy and trade what you understand. Don't jump in the whole market. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain to us here. So let me just show you real quick. Trend lines. I would love us to understand trend lines, although it's not all the time you use it. On trading view again, so most of us are already trading, so we should just be able to follow up quickly. Now, basically, trend lines just gives you an indication for a quick switch in the market movement. I'll show you how to get the trend lines out. Let me just get the annotation stuff. So this is the annotation. Down here where you see the pencil stuff, if you click on it, you'll see something called trend line here. The first is called trend line. So you click on it and get on the charts, and then you drag it. So we've gotten a trend line now. Now it's not creative art to find out. So I will tell you how to use this effectively. So let's look at this chart now. You see it's just moving in a particular order. Now you place the trend line based on whatever amount is moving in. So we place it from here to somewhere here. I'm using previous data now, so I'm not using the current place it is now, because I'm not getting any trend line there yet. So we could just place it from here at the bottom here where I place it at the back. To here. I don't know if you're seeing where I placed it on. Now, what this does is that it could tell you where the market is moving in. So if you place it here now, you see that the market was about going in an upward trend, even on the stochastic RSI, you see that it's getting to the oversold position for an upward movement. So you place your trend line and you see that it's going up. But then if you look here closely, if you look at this little bit here closely, here, you see that there was a place it broke down. It broke down. You can see that there's a place it broke down there. Now let me explain something to you. If you place your trend line to mark a buying trend or whatever, a buying trend, and then it broke down, somewhere broke out, you should understand that it's about to make a reversal downwards. For a short while though, for a short while, you should compare it to stochastic RSI. If you see your stochastic RSI, you see that it's getting to that oversold position. So you should understand that you need to work with the both of them. So you could see here, it made a breakout somewhere around 5.8828. Yeah, 5.8828. So it broke out there. Now, if somebody that entered a sell immediately from there, you don't need to put a limit order on those kind of trades. You will see that it would have sold till 5.7218. Let's put that 7218 from 5.882 something to 5.7218. That is close to 50 to 60% profit already on that trade. So working with trend lines can really help you a lot. You can see the coin moving in an upward direction. You just place it from the bottom to the next top. I've not placed it on this. I'm not using the current price it is now because there's no trend line there yet. It needs to form a trend line before you get it. Now, how do you catch a value trend line? Is that it must have 3 touches, meaning 3 candles must touch it. You can see this one I drew now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, basically. More than 4, actually. Just call it 4, 5. That's how many touches we had on the trend line. Now, it's the coin is supposed to move basically on the trend line, not under it or up above it, or on the trend line. For a bullish trend, it's supposed to move on top it. If you see the movement of this coin now from this place, the first place I drew it upward, you see that it was moving accordingly, just in the trend line. And then right here, there was a breakdown. Now, once it breaks out, you confirm it in your stochastic RSI. Say, okay, is this about to sell? Is this about to sell immediately? If you see that it's at the top or something like that, it's about to get for a little selling trend for a period of time. So you could enter a sell immediately and enter and loot that profit for that period of time. If you see where it broke out here from, this point, it broke out and then it moved down immediately. That's a selling trend. If you had entered, you have made profit. Same thing goes for buying for the other way around. I'll explain that also. So we place it from here to this point, and you saw that it broke out and it went down. Now there are 2 things. Now, once it breaks out, you should not just rush in. Although you could rush in, but I would advise you don't rush in if you've not understood the whole thing there. So let's say it broke out now. It broke out at, let's look at this. It broke out at 5.8932. I'm just trying to get the correct price there. Let me zoom it out a bit. So it broke out at, let's just put it 5.8664. Let's put 5.8664, right? It broke out there. Now you should understand that once it breaks out, it's going to make a retest on that particular place it broke out from. It's going to come back there and retest it. So you understand that once it breaks out, it's going to be retest. It's going to come back upward and touch the bottom of the trend line. Now this is how you identify fake trend lines. Once it breaks out and it comes for the retest, and then it breaks in, I don't know if you understand me, and then it breaks through the trend line instead of touching the trend line and coming down continuously. You understand that that was a fake out. It wasn't really getting for that selling trend, so just for a little period of time. Like this one now is actually kind of a fake out. The only thing that can make this go down more is, let me say, Bitcoin keep going down. But in the case that Bitcoin just stays what it's doing now, if you see that it has got to the bottom, it's supposed to make a reversal. So this upward movement is coming back to test it. It's coming back to touch this trend line. Now, if it comes back here and touch the trend line and keeps going down, understand that it's a selling trend automatically. But if this green candle here that is forming right at the bottom here, if it comes back and touches the trend line and then breaks through it, you should understand that that was a fake out. It was just a short sell trend it was getting on. So you'd have just entered and made profit immediately. Let me get to the Zoom so that if there are any questions, ask immediately before I move ahead. Those with questions, you can indicate or raise up your hand. Yes. Did something. Okay. I believe everyone is understanding. So like I was saying, once it breaks out and comes back to retest, it's coming back to retest now with this candle. Now there are times that maybe it might have retested with a candle here, because if a candle can just break down and then go up on the same candle without closing its wick. So it could just break out and then close up with that same candle, single candle. So sometimes it could just break out and maybe close back with that candle. But basically, if it breaks out, it will come back and retest with a green candle at the bottom of the trend line. It will not break through. If it breaks through, then it was a fake out or a short tail trend for that period of time. So you should try to understand all of this put together before you take the trade. Now let's go for a bullish setup. If I should take this, let me just take it and place it somewhere. Yeah, right. But I'm not getting the full touches here. Ultimately. So let's say I place it somewhere here. You can see I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 basically touches. So you should have at least 3 touches before it's a valid trend line. I'm just using previous data because I'm not getting like a trend line on this particular chart. You could get one if you can. I'm trying to rush it up. So basically, you can see that it's up. But let's disregard this part for now. This part, just disregard them. I'm using this backward data now to explain this to us. So if you watch this chart now, you see that it's moving on the trend line now. This is for a bullish setup. You've seen it that it's just moving on this trend line under it. But then if you watch out for a breakout outside of this trend line now that I drew, once it breaks out, understand that it's up for a bullish trend, it's for a buying trend, it's about to go up. But then you should understand 2 things. Okay, let me use this opposite self since it's about making that move here. Hope I can get the amount of touches I need here. It's easier done with laptop than with phone. Okay. So I think I have up to three touches here. So this is going on a little sell on downward movement right here now. So let's say this green candle that is here now. If the green candle comes and breaks out from this trend line, from the top of the trend line, if it breaks out, understand that it's about to make a reversal upward, and even on a stochastic RSI, it's showing that it's getting to the oversold position to make a reversal upward. So those are 2 things you consider when you're taking the trade. So it's about to get there and break out now. If it breaks out, understand that it's about to go on a movement upwards. Now, if it breaks out, it will come back to retest the top of the trend line. Now, if it comes back and it breaks through the trend line, if it breaks through the trend line, you can understand that that was a fake out, or it was moving for a short while. But then ultimately, if it breaks out, it will go up for a while, let's say for 1 hour, 2 hours, for just a while. You can calculate it sometimes, and it's quite complex. But okay. So if it breaks out, it will go up for a while and then reverse to retest this trend line. To retest this trend line we marked here, this whole bit of the trend line here. It will come back to retest the top. Now, if it comes back and touches it, it will then make its way upwards for the final upward till it gets to the next resistance, and then come back to sell for the next movement. So if it comes back, if it breaks out and then coming back to retest, it breaks through the trend line, it was a fake out, meaning that it was either a short buying movement or it was not a buying movement at all. It was just supposed to go down. That was just a little shaking in the market. So these are things you need to factors into consider before you make use of the trend line. If it breaks out and then comes back to retest and it touches on top of the trend line, sometimes it might not even touch on top of the trend line. It will just come back and come close to it and then begin to go up again. So you should understand that when it does something like that, it's a confirmed buy position. You enter the long and let it ride to the top. Now, if it should come to this trend line right here now, and then it breaks through, meaning it was a fake out or a short buying trend, you understand that, okay, this was wrong. This was a fake out. You should let the trade be. Or you could take a short position immediately down, short it till you get to a point, you draw a trend line and long again. I hope you're understanding this whole bit of the trend line stuff. So it's getting to the oversold position now where it's about to make a reversal upwards. So you've seen you've drawn it, you're tracking the movement. It's like tracking the movement of the coin till it makes that move for upward. So you're tracking the movement now, you're watching it. And then it breaks out a bit and it's currently on the oversold position. Let's say it was on the oversold position. It breaks out, it comes back and retests the trend line and doesn't break through. Enter the trade at a long position. It's confirmed that it's a buying position. So you enter the trade and buys to the next resistance and comes down again. You draw a trend line again and you're expecting a sell position. But then it breaks out for the sell, but then comes back and retests and enters into the trend line again. It's a fake out. It's as simple as that. You just understand the concept. It's a fake out and it's not going to that direction you predicted. So you should put a stop loss immediately. I hope you're understanding this whole part. Anybody that doesn't understand, ask your question. The other side is at 60. What should I look at for buy or sell? Okay. If it's at 60, the RSI now, the stochastic RSI, somebody's asking the stochastic RSI is within the middle. Now you don't work with it when it's in between the middle. You're working at it at the top and at the bottom. At the top and the bottom, within the 80 and 100. For the top, you're working between the 80 and the 100 range. Once it gets between 80 and 100, you're working with it for that. Once it gets between what's it called? This bottom, it gets between 10 and I think 20. You're working with the 10 and 0, 10 and 20, whatever. This bottom here, you're working for a long position. Now, if it's not in between any of these two places, if it's in the middle, you could work with your trend lines, your Fibonacci retracement I taught the other day. You work with any of them to take the trade. Or you could work with your normal price action movement you've studied. Because most of the time, all of these technical tools now will not even give you a clear direction of the market. Those kind of times you're going to use what we call price action, meaning you've studied the movement of the coin for a while and see that okay, the coin normally gets to this point and it comes back, and then it comes to this point and it goes up. So you study with those kind of movements and take a trade there when the technical analysis is not giving you a clear picture of the trade. I hope that answered your question correctly. What's the best time frame for this analysis? So for the trend line, you could use the daily analysis. It works mostly on the daily time frame. For longer time frame, you could use stochastic RSI and all of the Fibonacci retracement. The trend line works basically on the daily time frame. I believe we have for now. Anybody with any other question? Please let me know. Raise your hand or type the question in the chat so that we just understand. So let's say you have come to take a trade now. You've seen that it's currently getting to the sold position. Something like that. You come here, you come there and take your Fibonacci retracement tool. Is this stuff now? Okay. You take it from the last. You take it from the last resistance, all right, to the next support, which is at the bottom here, to prep for a buying position. They've taken it there. You've seen that the golden zone is between these two lines. So let's say somewhere around 5.3800 is where you're prepping for a long position for this coin now. Then you take the trend line, you're tracking the movement within that time frame. Put it on top, at the top. I think I put it before, but I took it out. So you're tracking the movement. If you have a laptop, this should be easier for you. You're tracking the movement currently. You put your Fibonacci tool and it's indicating the area you want to get in for your buy position. Although it might not get to the Fibonacci area, but you could track it to the trend line to understand where to enter. You've seen your stochastic RSI get to the oversold position for a buy position. Now you put all of these tools together and make your analysis. So you wait for it to break out from the trend line, or you wait for it to get down more for a little sell. You could also draw another trend line under to track the sell position. You draw the trend line under. So basically, it's not even giving a clear position. That's what I was saying. Sometimes it can't give you the clear position. It's not even a clear position for the sell position. But we're watching it for the buying position now. Let's say you're watching it now and it breaks out of the trend line. It breaks out and comes back to retest it. And it doesn't break through the trend line. You understand that, okay, it's a buy position. You enter and ride it all the way to the next resistance or the next top that it has hit ever before and take profit. It's as easy as that. I hope you all understood this whole bit. What is the name of this trading view? The name is Trading View. You can go on Play Store and download it. Please be explain when to take a short position. Okay, same thing goes for a short position. I'll explain a short position real quick now. So I'll be great if I can add to Telegram to watch the previous. The YouTube link is always posted on the Telegram group. Okay, I'll send you the Telegram group link. Telegram group link will be sent now. I'll send it to you. So someone is having a question, Mr. Ikechi. Please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, my question is I'm having a little challenge anyways. Is on the time, trying to use the timeline on Trading View to really analyze the markets. Using the 1 hour timeline, the 4 hours, in between 2-3 hours to even 30 minutes, trying to use the timeline, the time itself on the Trading View to analyze my coin, and the movement on the market. I think I'm having a challenge yet, but I'm still understanding it, but I don't know if you can share more light on that.
Okay, I understand the question. I did a bit analysis. Sorry. Let me send it. Okay, I'm coming. So, okay. The 4 hour, like I said, the 4 hour to the 1 hour time frame all work hand in hand for a daily trade. You hear me, right? So the 4 hour to the 1 hour time frame work hand in hand for a daily frame. So if you come to your 1 hour chart now, you see that it's already going up. Meaning that this trade is about to go up, right? But we've seen the 4 hour time frame now. It's still coming down. It's not going to that golden zone where it's supposed to reverse. This golden zone are the stochastic areas I'm using to analyze it. It's not getting to there yet. So it's just at the bottom, close to it, but not there yet. It's almost there. It's still there, but you can use that, but just for clarity. It's almost getting there. So you compare the two trades, the two time frames. See the 1 hour is already getting up. So they're all working hand to hand. It's just calculation and all. I don't know how to explain to you, but you should understand that it's generally going up. That's what you need to understand. So you come to the market and your 1 day chart is what you use. You zoom out before you zoom in. Now you see the 1 day chart is currently going up. So meaning that this coin is supposed to go up for a period of time. Let's say for 1 week or like for some days, it's supposed to go up. But there are going to be few movements it's going to make before it goes in that upward direction. Those few movements will lead to the upward direction. I don't know if you're understanding me. Because if you check the 4 hours, it's going up. It's supposed to get there and go up now. Look at the 1 hour. It's currently going up already. So the 1 hour is going to go up and get to this overbought position and make a reversal. And that reversal is going to meet with this 4 hour time frame. Which wherever the 4 hour time frame will be at that point, it has made the reversal. Now by that time, the 4 hour time frame might have come up as it's going up to, it might have come up a little to this bottom or so, to this bottom, or so somewhere here. It has come up to, let me say it has come up to here. The 1 hour time frame is going to go up here. Sorry, here. I don't know if you're seeing this line I'm using here. Here to this overbought position. Meets the 4 hour time frame to continue the movement upward. So that's why I said you need to understand support and resistance, because that's how it's going to be working with. The 1 hour time is going to go up to the closest resistance and then come down and meet the 4 hour for an upward movement. So it all works with the resistance and the support. You need to just understand, master that support resistance. If you watch the previous videos on the YouTube channel, you understand it very, very well, because I'd like explained everything about all of those on those previous videos. So understand all of those things there. You understand that all of them work together. They're all working in one particular order, just that they are faster, some are faster and some are slower. But ultimately, they're heading for the same goal. I hope you can understand that clearly. If not, you can just go to the channel. Okay, the Telegram group link has been sent. So those that are asking for it, you can get there, and the YouTube link will be posted, so you can take note of them. So, Mr. Ikechi, so you can just go back to the YouTube videos, but if you don't understand what I explained now, you can still go back there and rewatch the videos over and over again, and you understand it. What you need to understand that is they all work together. They are all going in one particular movement, but some are faster and some are slower, but everything is moving towards one position, one particular time, one particular trend is going on. You just need to grab this, but you just work with support and resistance. One will hit resistance first, one will hit support first, till they all move and get to that particular place you're supposed to get to create a new timeline. It's all moving in one direction, is what you need to understand. One direction. But some can be fast and some will be slower. Just move in that direction till it gets to the point where it should create a new timeline for another move. I don't know how best I can explain it, but you can get on the YouTube channel and get the videos. So I think that was all I'm supposed to teach you guys today. Next time we meet, I will show off chart patterns we can also use for our trade. So let me hand over to Pastor to finish up. So those that need access to the videos, it will be posted. The link will be posted to the Telegram group, so you can go and understand the whole stuff I'm talking about. If you don't understand right here, you don't need to understand here. You just rewatch and get acquainted with it very soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Freedom. Well, I think we all had the opportunity to ask our questions, and all those who asked questions, I think they got their answers also. If you don't have questions, we assume that you've understood. But then what you understood can only be proven by you practicalizing the lessons, which means you have to engage in the trade. And somebody chatted me, was it yesterday? I don't know if she's here. And she was saying that futures, that didn't eat my money last year. They said, what you go teach me now? And I was wondering to myself, how else do I teach you than what we are doing now? Okay, so, and that's why I keep saying, personally, I don't record most of my trainings, but I decided to do this one because how important I believe it is. And those who are serious are digging out videos and they are already making their money. Okay, we should all be weary of looking for ways to make money when we can make the money ourselves. We should be weary of depending on anybody when we can be independent. All right, so let's embrace this opportunity and make the best of it. Seriously, we should. And I'm super excited. The results are alarming and they are mind-boggling. And I hope everybody is able to plug in and make the best, okay, of this shift. We'll come up maybe tomorrow and next, and then we're done with all these fundamentals, all this elementary stuff. I'll be setting up a mastermind group, and that's going to be based on your results. That's going to be based on your results. Somebody's still asking me if you can deposit to MTF. May God help us. So please leave MTF, let MTF leave you. We are talking of how you can trade by yourself here. So just please do your best. Start trading and start maximizing it. I was talking of setting up a mastermind group based on your results. So if you have results, post it. I'm going to be picking people who has the best results to be in that mastermind group. We have a lot we're planning, but it starts from you being among the best from what we've taught. Okay, let's start getting the results. I celebrate all of you that are doing amazingly well. There are some persons that are restricted by Telegram, like I don't know why she's not here right now, or maybe she has gone off the meeting, or if she's here. Pastor Kendra, are you here? Let me see. Digital Currency Mom, are you here? If you're here, just raise your hand. You know, some of them are restricted by Telegram, but they're sending me their results on WhatsApp, and guys, I'm fulfilled. All right, I'm super excited. If all of these people can get this kind of results, I mean, you know what it means to be getting over 100% per trade. I mean, you are made, right? And don't forget our trading strategy. We talked about it from the first day. So do yourself good. If you were not here on the first day, look for the first day's video on that YouTube channel. Watch it. So one of the things I talked about my strategy is I don't go in with all of my funds per trade. I only risk maximum of 30% of my equity for a trade. And it's been amazing. Okay, so for example, if I have $1,000 and I want to get into a trade, I go in with $100, isolate it, put another backup trade for $100 and another backup trade for $100. That's just $300. That's 30%. And then leverage 10x and sometimes 10x.
if I'm the results I'm posting on Telegram, you will see my results are there. They're 98 and 97% is 15x I used, 15x. And that was because I was very sure of the trade. Otherwise, it's 10x. I had a trade that lingered for 2 days. It wouldn't have been possible for that trade to stay that long if I did more than 10x for that trade. I put up backup trades up to 4, it ate them all, but I was able to withstand it because it was 10x. Even if it was 12x, that it would have, I think, taken all the money I allocated for that trade, but that didn't happen. So this it's not just about making, oh, see, that this thing is just and I just make money once, and I still could lose money once too. All right. So if we have escaped from losing our money to scammers, let us not scam ourselves by being overzealous or what am I going to use? Or we're trying to make all the money at once because you feel, man, this thing is just too easy. If you follow my strategy, and the strategy we are teaching here is too easy, that's just the truth. Making money here is just too easy. It's just too easy. So my children have been playing with the market since all throughout today. I only, okay, the first trade that closed at 180%, and the second trade I took later, and that was all I've done today. I'm just setting my trade for against tomorrow now. Now, they have been playing with their mom's phone, setting trades, making 10%, 30%, 20%. I'm talking about boys of about say 12 years or 13 years of age. So, and they're just playing around with it. So this thing is easy, except you are not listening, or you already have some knowledge in your head that is blocking this new one from entering. All right, so flush it out, go through the videos and do it. So, but don't get comfortable and overconfident and start doing things out of control. Okay, stick to the strategy. You're not putting all your money at risk. So in case the market turns against you, you can quietly exit and lose that trade and then win another trade and make back that money twice or thrice. All right. So this is very important. This is very important. And so first, like I said before, I'm saying it again right now. You don't lose trade most of the time because you make the wrong decisions, but because you took too much leverage. It is leverage that makes people lose trade. As a matter of fact, if all your trade you're even going with 5x, it'll be hard for you to lose a trade, except you are just entering the market at impulse. But if you follow the support and resistance analogy strategy, okay, see, if I'm not comfortable, I won't take the trade. The market is not going nowhere, and I must not trade all the time, and I must not trade every day. All right. So if you don't FOMO, hey, let me just enter the trade now. Let me just use market. You will regret it. So all of these statements we are making them from our experience in the market, the mistakes we've made. Okay, this thing, it's wasting time to touch my price. Let me just set it low so that it will touch it fast. You will regret it. Set it where your analysis told you to set it, where you are comfortable that if it touches it, you are very sure you will make money. Don't get pressured by, I just have to trade now. I never trade since. Now today we just go and not make any money. Let me reset. By the time you are resetting, get ready for the pressure to give to you, because it will now go past where you set it and past where you're even targeting. And then if you don't have enough backup, and sometimes when this pressure comes, when you're putting your backup, it will be eating it. Your market was not supposed to push further, but because you are trying to block it out, it will keep pushing. But if you had already set it and left it, the effect will not show. The market will not notice that somebody is trying to play on it. Okay, so this is important. Like the trade I said now, I've set three orders straight and I've left it. So the market is already part of the market. So it's a stealth defense. There was one of my boys I trained some time ago. It's been long, but he doesn't know that we've upgraded in the knowledge of this thing. And he was sharing with me his experience, he's being liquidated and all of that. And I was trying to share this with him and said, no, when you are putting it, it will be eating it. And I was laughing. See, once it's already against you and you're under pressure and you're trying to block it, the market will just be coming for it. As soon as you put another backup, it will hit it, put another, because the market is sensitive that somebody is trying to manipulate it. So, but then when all of your orders are already put in the market has absorbed it and you wait, it can just touch your order and reverse, and you start making your money. Okay, so I think these are some of tomorrow will be another practical session, and maybe the final day. This is just for 3 days, I believe. We'll talk more on our mistakes and how you can avoid them. I'm not really doing that, what I'm saying right now, but more persons who have started trading will also share their experiences, and then we could learn where the expertise comes in. Remember, nobody's an or excellent or expert learning, and that is why even first timer can make more percentage than you that have been in the market for the past 5 years. Somebody who just learned today can enter the market and come out with 5,000% in all your years of trading in this field. There's no professional. We are all students. We are learning to get the best out of this market. Okay, so and that's why I'm going to set up the mastermind group where we are going to synergize, where we'll be posting our setup. At least each person posts one setup per day, and this thing is going to take another turn. But I'm not putting no serious person there, right? So prove your seriousness. Let's see your results. Okay, post it in the Telegram if you trade, if you have good results, right? Then after that, after the mastermind group is set up, I'll take it to the next level. So guys, I'm excited. We had didn't know if Long Life he has not joined. Long Life had to come to Port Harcourt to have some practicals, and just 2 days. He just not even 2 days. He came in 1 day, and that day we didn't have time. I just told him, just send Freedom to meet with him, and they had their trainings, and just 2 days or 1 day plus, he's already making 32%. I'm seeing his results in the Telegram, and he's going back to provide support for his people, teach those who needs to learn, and then raise money and clear whatever needs to be cleared. So guys, you don't have any excuse, right? You don't have any excuse. You got no reason to regret or to complain. We've been blessed, all right? So let's maximize the blessing, okay? So I want to say thank you to every one of you for coming, and I hope to see more persons in our next meeting. Let's invite, because if we grow, then we'll extend the teachings. If we are just us, there's no point meeting again. So, but let's just see tomorrow, and then that'll be it. Thank you guys, and have a good night.